The wind swept across the wide Wyoming ranch land, carrying the smell of hay, dust, and early morning cold. Mia pulled her jacket tighter as she walked alongside the wooden corral, her boots crunching over the gravel. It was her first week helping out on Silver Creek Ranch, her first real escape from the city, her first attempt to prove she wasn't as delicate as people always assumed. She had wanted a challenge. She didn't expect this much of one. Inside the pen, a young calf bleated nervously as Rancher Cole tried to guide it toward a small holding stall for tagging. He moved with a kind of quiet confidence, every motion smooth and controlled. Even the animals seemed to understand he meant no harm. Mia had been watching him work all morning, trying to learn the rhythms, the little signals, the voice tones, the way he anticipated movement before it happened. "You ready to give it a go?" Cole asked with a half smile, nodding toward the calf. Mia's stomach fluttered, but she nodded. "Yeah, I can handle it." She stepped into the pen slowly, just like he taught her. "No sudden moves. Stay calm. Keep your hands visible." But the calf was skittish, darting back and forth, hooves clattering against the wood. Mia moved in, hands out to guide it gently, and that's when everything went wrong. A sudden gate slam from somewhere across the ranch startled the animal. It jerked sideways violently, its hind leg coming up fast. Before Mia could react, the hoof caught the edge of the fence. A thick splinter, nearly 3 inches long, snapped loose and shot straight toward her like a tiny spear. She felt a sharp, burning sting in her forearm. Ah! Mia staggered back, clutching her arm as a hot flush of pain spread upward. Cole's head whipped around. "Mia!" He crossed the distance in seconds, dropping to one knee beside her. His normally calm face tightened with concern. "Let me see." Mia hesitated, breath shaking. "It's nothing. I'm fine." "Mia," he said firmly, "your definition of fine might need work." She slowly moved her hand away. A thin stream of blood ran down her arm, dark and warm against her pale skin. And there, still lodged deep, was the thick wooden splinter, buried beneath her flesh. Her stomach twisted. Oh no," she whispered. Cole's eyes narrowed with focused seriousness. "Okay. Hold still." He reached to his belt and pulled out a small metal tool, something between tweezers and pliers, polished silver and sharp-looking in the morning sun. Mia's heart jumped. Wait, you're putting that inside me?" Cole met her wide, startled eyes. For a moment, the wind seemed to stop. His voice softened. "It'll be over quick," he said. "I promise. But that thing needs to come out now, before it causes trouble." Mia swallowed hard, panic tugging at her breath. She'd never been good with injuries, especially her own. Even the sight of blood made Mia squeezed her eyes shut as Cole steadied her arm in his hands. She felt the warmth of his palms even through the trembling in her own skin. The cold metal tool hovered near the wound, and every instinct in her body screamed to pull away, but his voice anchored her. "Just breathe for me," he murmured. Slow and steady. His tone wasn't commanding. It was comforting, calm in a way that made the pain feel less sharp. She forced air into her lungs, trying to match the slow rhythm he set. Cole angled her arm gently, letting the morning sunlight fall across the injury so he could see better. "This might sting for a second," he warned softly. The pressure came first, a firm pinch as he widened the torn skin just enough to grip the splinter. A sharp sting shot up her arm, making her flinch. Hey, Cole said, pausing instantly. "You're okay. I'm right here." She opened her eyes, meeting his. The steadiness in them grounded her. Cole wasn't just helping her because it was his job. There was genuine care there, threaded through his voice, his touch, his presence. Okay, she whispered. Keep going. He nodded once, then returned to his work. Slowly, with a careful precision she didn't expect from someone who spent his days wrangling cattle, he tightened the tool around the exposed edge of the splinter. Mia felt the pull. Deep, dragging, uncomfortable, but she bit back a sound, focusing on the steady cadence of his breathing. You're doing great, Cole said. Almost there. Another tug. The pain sharpened, then dulled, then sharpened again. Mia's free hand gripped the fabric of his flannel sleeve, her fingers curling around the soft, worn cotton. He didn't seem to mind. In fact, his arm shifted slightly closer, as if offering her something solid to hold onto. One final pull. Mia gasped as the pressure suddenly released. Cole leaned back just enough to hold up the long, jagged piece of wood between the metal tips. It was far bigger than she imagined, nearly the length of her finger. That was inside me. She breathed, half horrified, half amazed. Cole let out a small, relieved laugh. Yep, you had a whole fence post trying to set up home in your arm. Mia exhaled shakily, tension draining from her shoulders. The pain simmered, but the fear faded instantly. Cole tossed the splinter aside and reached for the small first aid kit he kept in his vest pocket. This'll clean it, he said, opening a disinfectant wipe. She braced herself again. The cold burn of the antiseptic made her hiss, but Cole worked gently, his movements slow and steady, almost soft. When he wrapped the bandage around her arm, his fingers brushed her skin with a quiet care she'd never expected. You were brave, he said as he secured the bandage. Most people would have fainted. Mia chuckled weakly. Trust me, I thought about it. He glanced up at her, eyes warm. But you didn't want to embarrass myself in front of the rancher, she said with a teasing shrug. Cole smirked, tipping the brim of his hat slightly. Well, I'm glad you didn't. The calf that caused all the trouble bleated softly nearby, watching with innocent curiosity. Mia shook her head at it, amused despite the lingering throbbing in her arm. So, she said, is ranch work always this dramatic? Cole laughed. A deep, warm sound carried by the wind. Usually the animals wait at least a week before trying to injure the new helpers. But I guess they're taking a liking to you early. She rolled her eyes but smiled. Lucky me. He stood, offering his hand to help her up. She took it, feeling the strength in his grip as he lifted her effortlessly to her feet. You really handled it well, he said. Stick with me, and there's nothing on this ranch you won't learn to face. Mia looked at her bandaged arm, then back at him. Something inside her, some mix of adrenaline, gratitude, and warmth, stirred unexpectedly. Maybe this place wasn't just a temporary escape. Maybe this ranch, these fields, this wide, open sky. And maybe this quiet, steady rancher. Maybe they would become something far more important to her than she had ever imagined.